Michael, just starting off then, in 2023, how do you view it for you? 3 wins, 2 knockouts, a stadium fight. Were you fairly happy with it overall?
Yeah, I was. I'm always happy with activity. Um, I do feel like I belong at a different level to the opposition that I've been fighting last year, but beggars can't be choosers. It was good to stay active. Um, on decent cards as well. So overall, I'm happy with how 2023 went. Couple of knockouts as well, which people are seeing a little different Michael McKinson lately. So yeah, overall, okay.
Do you feel like maybe a little bit frustrated at a lack of, like you say, kind of like quality opposition, matching you
Mm.
or a challenge for you, since the Ortiz fight?
Yeah, when I was out in Texas and I obviously suffered my first defeat, I really did. When I was on the flight back from Texas, I really did think it may have opened so many doors because all I heard is positives from the Ortiz fight. Um, Made it very competitive, and like I didn't look out of place at world level. So to 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 the level I'm fighting at now, it is very frustrating because I know I'm a world level fighter. So yeah, it is very frustrating.
Sure. Yeah, and just out of interest, is your deal currently exclusive to Boxer, or can you work with other promotional companies?
Yeah, no, I'm not actually signed. Um, so I'm very blessed to have been like to be boxing on their cards, like being on the South Coast. It's great. I've had to travel over the years and box away from home a lot. So Bournemouth, less than an hour down the road from Portsmouth, is home. So I feel extremely lucky to have been boxing in Bournemouth, to be honest. So, but yeah, I'm not actually signed to anybody.
Sure.
Um, so yeah.
Hmm. And do you feel like since the Ortiz fight, do you feel like you learned a lot during that fight? You said there's lots of positives, but do you feel like you learned a
Yeah.
lot as well, and you want to put that stuff you learned into practice against someone that's really going to test you?
Yeah. I've been a professional 10 years. I'm not a prospect anymore. I'm a very experienced fighter. Um, the two America trips I learnt loads from, not just the actual fighting, but everything else involved in the boxing world over there. So I'm a very experienced fighter. I'll turn 30 in a couple of days. These are the years that I don't want to run away. These are the important years for me, and um, I just want these big fights. I want the big fights. I believe I'm UK's best welterweight. I know I'm UK's best welterweight. I just don't have much love off the promoters.
Sure. And would you be willing to work, with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren? I know the Ortiz fight was on a matchroom card. You'd 100% be
Yeah,
open to those kind of opportunities should they arise?
whatever opportunities arrived, I'm taking that,
Sure.
and it is like that. Obviously, um, I had a free fight deal with Matchroom before. The third fight was the Ortiz fight. Um, so that was my free fights. So yeah, whatever opportunities come my way, if the money's right, the answer is yes.
Sure. And how are you like ticking over at the moment? You're just trying to keep yourself busy, keep yourself fresh in the boxing gym, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm a full-time professional, so boxing's my job. Luckily, very very lucky to have the financial backing and things. So I'm always working all year round. Obviously, it's a lot different when I get the phone call and I've got a fight date and stuff, but I'm always training. I've been sparring a little bit recently, and my S&C is very solid all year round as well. So I'm always healthy. Um, but when I do get that phone call, things change.
Sure. And you've been on the last couple of Chris Billam Smith fights down in Bournemouth. There's talk
Yeah.
that his fight against Richard Riakporhe is going to be up in London. Is that something
Yeah.
that you'll want to be involved in, having been involved in the last few, hoping this summer?
Well, I don't think I will be involved. Obviously, being in Bournemouth, it was great. I'm a local fighter to Bournemouth, so that's obviously why they had me on the cards. Um, so, but yeah, like I don't mind where I fight. I don't mind if I'm the B side. I don't mind if I've got to travel because I've done it all before. I just need a good, not just another 8 rounder on the YouTube stream like at the beginning of the show because I'm far better than that. I'm far better than that. I there's obviously the Avanesian fight that I've been calling for 11 months now has gone quiet. I don't know how to get these fights. Do I become more outspoken and ruffle a few feathers to be able to get the fight in? I don't know. But there's nothing more my end I can do to get a decent fight. I don't think people said, "Oh, McKinson can't punch," so I came into 2023 and I started knocking people out. Um, so I'm a little like I'm more fan friendly now, and my style's a lot more exciting now. Uh, I call out all these names and I don't get anything back.
Hmm. Do you feel like there's an element of risk, like that people don't want to take the risk and get in the ring with you? Do you feel like you've called yourself the bogeyman of the 147 division?
Yeah.
Anyone can get it, that kind of thing. Do you feel like there's a certain element of risk that people just don't want to get in the ring with you because of they know you're a dangerous fighter?
Yeah, I'm a very awkward, slippery boxer with a good boxing IQ, so I make good fighters look very, very bad, and they all know that too. Like, it'd be easier to get the fights if I had promotional backing. Um, so it's tough at the moment because, as they say, it's a big risk, low reward fighting me, isn't it? Like, so, so yeah, who knows? Who knows? But everyone knows I'll fight anyone.
Mm.
I'll travel to Texas to fight the most feared 147 fighter. I walked to the ring with a cauldron of booze and hate and abuse and stuff. So I would never duck a fighter, definitely not. And the welterweight division's lit up as well. Domestically, it's lit up. They all know I'd beat them. They all know who's best at 147 in the UK. All the other rivals, they know it's me. I wish you could have called me and I was a little bit more upbeat and a little bit
Sure.
more optimistic about things at the moment. But if I'm honest with you, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on, and I'm full of frustration because I've had 27 professional fights. I've had one defeat. And if you look, I've not fought a journeyman for years and years and years. They're all winning records, all dangerous opponents. So it's not a padded record at 26-1, is it? So,
Mm.
like, why am I not getting the fights? I've not, like, it's no fault of mine.
Mm. Yeah. And just out of interest, Michael,
Yeah.
I don't know if you followed, I'm sure you have, but someone else from Portsmouth, Mark Chamberlain, he's got a really good opportunity out in Saudi Arabia, boxing on a card out there. Do you see someone like that and go, think it's really good for the city, really good for the
Great
boxing
for
in
the
Portsmouth?
city. Yeah, it's
Just
great for
what's
this.
your view on it in general? Yeah.
Uh, Um, yeah, no, Mark's doing great. Mark's doing great. Um, every boxer's like hoping for that Saudi call, and he's had it and had it again. So like fair play. He got a good win last time, didn't he? Beat Gavin Gwynn last time.
Mm.
Uh, and it's only great for the city of Portsmouth. It's only great for the city of Portsmouth.
Yeah, and you've had a bit of back and forth with Conor Ben online.
Mm.
A few things said about his last fight, and regardless of the situation, do you feel like that's a matchup, a fight that you'd want to visit one day?
Yeah, I think it's been 7 years now. I've been trying to get something kind of. It's never really going to happen, is it? But yeah, since the egg situation, he's come back and he's looked very ordinary, I think. So I expressed my opinions and on Twitter, and he bit, he bit, which was good. It was all good. But yeah, he's. I said to him, "Welcome to the Pillow Fist Club." I didn't think he liked it.
Go on, no, go
Before
on.
we go, let's
Yeah.
let's give a mention to Chris Congo, because Chris Congo plays a huge part in my story,
Mm.
and I do in his as well. And he obviously got a good win a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week? The week before? He
Yeah.
beat Florian Marku, and I think, like, fair play to Chris. Every welterweight, I think, was rooting for him. I messaged him a few days before and I said, like, rooting for you, mate. Me and Chris has had a rivalry. It's probably the only actual rival I've had in boxing, amateur or pro, in it. So it looked like, do you know what I mean? But I never believed the Florian Marku hype. Really didn't. And Chris got the job to expose him. So fair play to Chris.
Yeah, no, just finally, is there any names you want to throw out there that you'd want to? You say Chris Congo, is there any names out there that you desperately want to be fighting in the next 3 years? Like you say, when you're about to hit 30.
Yeah, I don't think Chris would fight me again. But you know, domestically, it's lit up. You've got obviously Conor Ben, Lewis Crocker. You've got Harry Scarf, Echo Esserman. Um, there's loads of good names. Chris Congo, Marku. There's Avanesian. I mean, Avanesian's the most dangerous fight out of them all. Uh, but that is the fight that I want. Like, I can sit back and look at them. I don't think I'm a domestic level fighter. And if I'm honest with you, like, I beat Chris Congo with ease. Like, and do you know what I mean? I beat Chris Congo with ease. And when I stepped up to the world stage, I didn't look out of place. I was winning rounds against Ortiz. Um, and the way it ended was a hip injury more than, like, if anything. Although I was losing, I couldn't stand up, and I couldn't put weight on my hip. So that's how the fight ended. Like, he didn't knock me out. He didn't stop me. Um, so anyone, I would prefer the world names, Avanesian, but obviously there's a lot of good domestic dust ups that can happen. Um, but listen, my phone's on. My phone's on. All the promoters out there, they know my phone's on. They just want to be quiet and they don't want to acknowledge McKinson. Um, all the welterweights out there, they know my phone's on as well. They just don't want to mention me. They don't want to mention my name because they all know.